a woman by the name of Hannah Smith, and some of you all may know her from the show Love Island, okay? She was arrested for what she said to a police officer on the basis of that officer being a black woman. Now, of course, I'm sure we can all assume that the woman in question, Hannah Smith, well, she's probably from a certain demographic of people, of course. But I'll let y'all think on that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play my intro because YouTube will demonetize me if I tell you guys exactly what she said this early in the video. So go on, listen to my intro. I know we're all waiting for it. And then we're going to get into this. So here is just the summary. Love Island star Hannah Smith arrested for threatening to kill a police officer in racist rants. Attorney says she has no memory of telling officer she hates black women and I can't wait to kill you and your sister. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Let's look into the details of Hannah's rant. She said, and I quote, "Bitch, I can't wait to kill you, you dumb-ass ugly bitch, cause you're fucking fat and they love us skinny bitches cause you're fucking black and I hate black bitches, so I can't wait to kill you and your sister, you dumb-ass bitch, my dog, diggity." Okay, wait, no, I added that part. But let's get into this. Because there is definitely a lot to talk about here. Now, first of all, let's start off with the attorney saying that Hannah has no memory of telling the officer these things. Y'all, are y'all buying this? Because, baby, if you're buying this, then I have some beachfront property in the state of Colorado to sell you, okay? Because I'm not buying this. Not one bit. Not one tad. You telling me she has no memory of saying any of this? Y'all, something I say about a certain demographic of people all the time is that I would respect them so much more if they would just say, yeah, I'm racist, or yeah, white supremacy exists, and I just don't care. It benefits me, so I enjoy it, right? But the fact that they sit here in the middle of all of this and actively upholding it, right? But then we'll say, yeah, racism is not real. Those blacks are overreacting. That just makes me like, come on, that's just whack. Like, that is so seriously whack. Whenever they do something, there's always this weak cop-out to avoid any accountability. Like, in this case, it's, oh, golly gee, she has no memory of that, right? But, in other cases, it might be, oh, that's not how I intended it, or whatever, right? Like, they'll use the N-word, and then they'll be like, oh, but that's not how I meant it. There's only one way you can mean that, Chadsworth. There's only one way you can mean that, Chadiana. So, what are you talking about, right? But let me move on, because I do have quite a couple of things to talk about, right? So the next thing is that she says she hated black women, and I can't wait to kill you and your sister. Ooh, I gotta call this out. I have to call this out because on YouTube, I've been exploring this topic of the acceptable group of blackness. And let me explain to y'all what I mean by this. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. I be coming up with some good terms. Like, I be coining some good stuff. Like, stop playing in my face, okay? But basically, what I mean by that is the fact that non-black people can not only hate one group of black people. That's not how that works. And I'm saying that because I get a lot of comments from different groups of black people who believe that this is possible. I will get comments from Africans and Caribbeans, right? And they'll be like, oh, we're not like black Americans, we more so identify with other groups of immigrants and they like us, like, I beg. Okay, sorry, y'all. I took edible before I started recording this. Okay, so I get comments like that from them, right? And then I'll also get comments from black men, right? Black American men. And they'll be like, oh yeah, white women and Asian women love us. They just don't like black women. And whenever I see these comments, I always think to myself, do you really believe that these people only hate some types of black people and that they like the other ones? Like, really? You really believe that? Like, again, I may have some beachfront property in Colorado for you, buddy. Because I can't even begin to believe that that is the case. Now, that gets me back to my point about the acceptable group of blackness, right? I tell y'all all the time, white people are not stupid. They not dumb. They may act dumb, but they absolutely are not dumb, right? So white people know walking around a group of black people and being like, hey, I hate blacks, it's probably not going to go very well for them, right? So instead, they kind of, like, gauge your disposition towards other groups of black people. And then when they realize maybe you're not entirely a fan of some group of black people, they make the connection and they say, oh, that's the acceptable group of black people for me to hate, right? So, for example, say you are African, say you're an immigrant, right? And you're like, oh yeah, like black Americans' culture is not the same as Africans, you know, we look down on them so and so and so, right? A white person will, you know, they'll hear this and they'll say, oh, black Americans are the acceptable group of black people to hate in this context, right? So they'll tell you that their issue is only with black Americans, right? But then they'll turn around and they'll be having a conversation with a black American, right? And a black American may say something like, oh, Africans, you know, they ain't got no water over there. Like, you know, they all poor and stuff, right? And that same white person will make the connection. Oh, Africans are the acceptable group of black people to hate in this context, right? So they'll tell that person, oh, yeah, Africans are the only black people that I hate, right? Because, again, white people are not stupid at all. They're very calculating, in fact. I tell y'all all the time on YouTube, white people are out here playing chess and black people, baby. I usually say we playing tic-tac-toe. We're not even playing checkers. But tic-tac-toe is giving us too much credit. We out here playing, I don't even know. We got a stick on the ground. We just jumping over. That's our game. Because, baby, when I tell you, so many black people fall for this. Like, oh, God, y'all, I see this happening in real time. And I have an example of an experience like this that happened to me on YouTube, right? So clearly my YouTube channel is free to the public. You can click on my channel and see whatever I be talking about, right? So I was up under some videos leaving comments, right? And I forget what the video was about, but I called white people out on being racist. And this white guy just randomly replied and he said, oh, tell me why my Nigerian friend just moved here and he said he doesn't like black women. Oh, let me know why that's the case. His comment was totally random, right? That is not what the video we were under was about. That is not what my comment was about. He just randomly brought this up, right? So I replied to him. I was like, bitch, I don't fucking know. Like, you asking me, a black American woman, why a Nigerian man likes something. Like, what? That's like me asking a random white American, hey, why does this Swedish person think so-and-so? They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? So I was like, bitch, I don't know why your friend said. Ask your friend. What? So then he was like, oh, yeah. He told me he likes Latinas and so-and-so, but so-and-so. So again, I'm just like, sir, like, I do not care. Why are you telling me this? So he kept doing stuff like this, right? And it was very clear that he had clicked on my YouTube channel and looked at some of my videos and was under the impression that I did not like Africans. Now, some of y'all believe that, and that's fine, baby, because there's people out here who believe in God. Oh, baby, I ate. Like, okay, but let me not, because there's some folks that's going to be mad at that, okay? But my point is this. You can believe that if you want to. It's folks that believe the earth is flat. It's folks that believe the cow jumped over the moon, okay? Believe what you want to believe. But this is the facts. This is the reality. I'm telling you something right now. Now, I will acknowledge, just in general, right? Not even just on YouTube or about this certain topic, I have a kind of rude way of talking. Like, even in real life, I will say something and somebody be like, dang, that was me. And I'll be like, my bad. Like, I didn't even realize, right? So, of course, that, you know, that translates to YouTube as well, okay? So, when I bring up a lot of these issues, I have a rude way of talking. So, I was talking about something about Africans on my channel, sounding how I normally sound, and this white person interpreted it as me disliking Africans. And he figured in that context that Africans were the acceptable group of blackness, right? So he thought he could dangle this little bait in front of my face and I would take it, right? But, baby, I played him like a violin. Like, come on. And I actually played the violin. For those of y'all who did not know, I actually played the violin at Michigan State University. I'm not going to say I was in symphony orchestra. I was not. I was in concert. I was not a music major or anything. But my point is, baby, I'm not falling for that. Now, I'm bringing that up because let's get back to Miss Hannah Smith. Okay, girl, I did not forget about you. Don't think I forgot about you, right? And y'all finna be like, oh, sorry, what is all that junk in the background? Mind your business, unless you finna come over here and clean it up. Like, huh? But anyway, right? So, she said that she hates black women. And she specified that she can't wait to kill this black woman and her sister. Because this white woman has realized what so many white people... I don't even want to say realized, because I think they're born innately knowing this stuff. Like, they just have it too perfectly crafted, right? She understands what every white person understands, that there is an acceptable group of blackness. And for a lot of black men who pursue white women, right, I'm not gonna say all, okay? So before y'all come to the comments, what? Haas just happened to find me a Becky that I was loved. Like, you ain't gotta do all that, baby. Like, let that keyboard rest, okay? Put it up. Like, come on now, right? So before y'all do all that, I'm not gonna say all. I'm just gonna say most. I'm gonna say most, okay? Most black men who date interracially make it very clear that black women are their acceptable group of blackness, right? And this white woman's remarks shows that she is well aware of that. Now let's get back to Miss Hannah Smith talking about she don't remember nothing that happened. Now, I don't know what Miss Hannah Smith is claiming. Now, maybe she's saying she was drunk or maybe she was on something else, because I'm looking at this woman and it's definitely giving, it's a hard knock life for us. Like, I could see her on the street corners. Ooh, Santa Claus we never see. Santa Claus, what's that? Who's he? No one cares for you a smidge when you're an ugly cave bitch. It's a hard knock life. But my point is, this bitch looks quite rough around the edges. Like, it's something off about her face. Maybe she got, I don't know, those women, right, of that particular background, they be getting like injections in their face and lips and stuff. So maybe that's why she looks off. But it could also be the beginning of, girl, them hard drugs is starting to hit you. I don't know what Miss Hannah Smith is saying that, she was under the influence of when this happened. But I know one thing, okay? I done got drunk my fair share of times. And I don't be saying nothing that I don't mean. Like, no, if I said it while I was drunk, I will say it when I'm sober too. I don't be saying nothing that I do not be meaning. Like, it be the same stuff I be thinking when I'm sober. But I be like, oh, that's a little too mean. Let me not say that. Like, that's just me though. Y'all let me know if maybe y'all different. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that this woman's name is Hannah Smith. And if you didn't know, my last name is Smith as well, okay? And that is why I am sharing something that someone commented under my YouTube channel very recently. This is today, in fact, so maybe that was a sign, right? This person said, no child of mine will have a European surname of their family's former enslaver. Always wondered why family continues to carry on these last names, knowing damn well how we got them. I've overheard these demons laugh at this fact that we will forever be their bitches because they've branded our families for centuries to come, generation to generation, the same way a master names his dog. Ooh, y'all, that was heavy. That was definitely heavy, especially because I'm reacting to what this woman Hannah Smith said, and we have the same last name. So y'all, I'm about to tear up. In case you did not know, because I know I got some new subscribers, y'all. In case you did not know, I am a crier. But rest assured, thugs do cry. So, look, come on now, right? But I am saying that because it's hard to think about the fact that this woman has the same last name as me. And this mentality that she has did not start with her, right? She got that from her great-great-great-grandparents who also have the same last name as me, and they may have been saying that to my great-great-great-grandparents. Now, that is definitely a very harrowing thought to have. It definitely is. And I have that thought often enough because I have like the most common last name in America. And that really goes to show you how widespread slavery was. It's crazy because whenever white people get on the topic of slavery, it's 90% of the time, I'd say actually like 95% of the time, it's them trying to gaslight and downplay, right? But then, that last like 5%-ish, it's them, bragging about it or whatever. Like this guy said, oh, I heard, they said forever their bitches so and so and so, right? But again, 95% of the time is them gaslighting and downplaying. And they'll always be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, there was only this many percentage of white people who enslaved people and so and so and so, right? But just think about the fact that Smith is one of the most common last names in the black community. Like, think about how widespread this was. Like, I know so many Smiths. Like, when I was in high school, y'all, first of all, it had to be about 20 people with the last name Smith. But a lot of folks got kicked out because of their grades. Because I went to Renaissance. If you had below a 2.5, you was getting kicked out, right? Or maybe a 2.0. I don't remember. But you was getting kicked out. But I'm bringing this up because there was so many of us to the point where when we graduated, we took a Smiths picture, the Smiths. And at the 10-year reunion, we took an updated Smiths picture. Like, it was that many Smiths, okay? These names are all over our community, but white people will sit here and say any this percentage of white people enslaved people. Okay, well, guess what? 100% of us was enslaved in this bitch, so we don't particularly fucking care, first of all. But then, second of all, well, look at how many of us have the last name just Smith or just Johnson or just whatever. Like, I feel like that is a sign. I feel like that is a sign because I got this comment from this person today. Then I see this article of this white girl saying all this racist stuff, and we got the same last name. I think that's a sign. So people on YouTube have asked me before, Flower Tower, do you think that Black Americans should change our last names to African last names for this exact reason? And this is my stance, right? I don't think we should change our last names to African last names because I feel like that erases a part of my history, right? I feel like my ancestors went through something that continental Africans did not. So me simply taking on their name, you know, the continental African names, right? We can look at it as, oh, you know, we getting back to where our ancestors were abducted from, right? So, I mean, if you into that, cool. If that's for you, great, right? But I don't want to erase the differences of what my ancestors went through that continental Africans didn't. So me personally, I wouldn't change my last name to an African name. Now, that's better than a European name for sure. But me personally, I feel like we should come up with new names that are for us, that tell our story. And I've said this on a number of occasions. I think that word Soulan, Soulaan, some people use it as a word for the African American ethnicity. I think that would be a nice last name. So maybe this is a sign I need to like socially transition. Is that something that people say if they're not talking about transgender people? Like, I don't know. But I am not transgender. I'm saying socially transition in a different context, okay? But like maybe that's a sign I need to start using that as my last name, even if I don't, you know, actually legally change my name. But y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think too. Let me go ahead and spin the block with Miss Hannah Smith real quick, because baby, my phone on 14% and it's 9:19 p.m. Like, look, Auntie finna get into bed. Like, it's been a long day, okay? I wasn't even finna record this video at first, but I was like, I'm slacking on my YouTube grind, so it's time to get it together. And it is a fruit fly flying around. So if y'all see a fruit fly coming to the camera, don't even play with me. Because the only reason you don't have fruit flies is because you don't have no fucking fruit, bitch. And that's why your coochie, your dick, your booty tastes like, well, I mean, booty gonna taste bad regardless, but your private areas taste like motor oil, and that's why don't nobody want to go down on you. So stop fucking playing with me. But anyway, let me spin a block on Miss Hannah Smith real quick, okay? I just want to stress to y'all because that comment she made about, oh, they like us skinny bitches, they don't like y'all fat bitches, y'all black bitches, they like us white bitches, whatever it said, right? I want to stress that comment because so many of y'all Black people be in these interracial relationships and y'all are completely fucking naive. And y'all think that because y'all are naive, white people are naive as well. So many Black people go into these interracial relationships, right? And they are so naive about it. They're like, oh yeah, like I just happened to find a white person that I liked and I'm sure this white person did the same, right? They're so naive and they apply that naivety? Tell me how it's pronounced, y'all. I read a lot of books growing up, right? So I know a lot of words. But because I read them in books, half the time I don't know how to pronounce them bitches, right? But my point is this. So many of y'all apply your naive ass standards, okay? See how I avoided that pronunciation, to the non-Black people that you're in a relationship with. And I tell y'all all the time on YouTube, I have to stop just saying white people because it's all non-Black people, right? Y'all apply this dumb shit to them thinking that because you stupid as hell, right? And you're not calculating and you don't hate them, then they must not hate you. And I would just like to let you all know that has never been the case.